Most people heading into retirement feel roughly okay about where they are. The balance is going up. They've been consistent. They're doing what they were told. And yet the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the organization that actually models this data for a living, projects that 4 in 10 American households will run out of money before they die. And in a separate study of people already living in retirement, half of them said they saved less than what they actually needed. So here's the question that should be keeping people up. 2/3 of Americans approaching retirement feel confident they'll be fine. 4 in 10 will actually run short. That gap between how people feel and what the numbers show is real, and most people have no idea which side of it they're standing on. You've probably had this thought. The statement looks decent. The number is moving in the right direction. And you think, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, so am I actually in the safe half, or do I just feel like I am? Here's what almost no one tells you. Whether you end up in the safe half doesn't come down to one thing. Retirement security has 3 levers. The first one everyone knows. The second one most people have never actually checked. The third one most people decide in an afternoon. And that one decision costs the average person over $200,000 in lifetime income. By the end of this video, you'll know where you stand on all 3. You'll know which group you're in, and you'll know what to do about it. My name is Frank. Let's find out. Before we get into the 3 groups, comment honestly, right now, do you feel like you're in the safe half when it comes to retirement? Confident, not sure, or genuinely worried? Drop it below. I read all of them. Let me set this up the right way first. Most people treat retirement security like it has one dial, the balance. If the number is high enough, they're fine. But retirement security actually has 3 levers, and pulling only one of them, even hard, doesn't protect you if the other 2 are pointed in the wrong direction. Lever 1, how much you have. The number on the statement, everyone tracks this one. Lever 2, what type of accounts are holding that money? Pre-tax versus Roth versus taxable. Most people have never actually mapped this out. Lever 3, when you pull the Social Security switch. This is the one most people decide on instinct, the same week they retire, without ever running the real numbers. 3 groups. Let's figure out which one you're in. Group A, you're here if you have $700,000 or more saved, and you have some diversity across account types. Not everything's sitting in a traditional pre-tax 401k. Some Roth money, maybe a taxable brokerage account, and at least a rough plan for when you're claiming Social Security. If that's you, you're already in a very small minority. The Federal Reserve's data puts the median retirement savings for Americans in their late 50s and early 60s at $185,000. If you're well above that with a diversified structure, you are ahead of most of this country. But here's what I want to say directly to Group A, because most channels skip right past this. You're not playing the accumulation game anymore. That game is over. The question that matters now is completely different. It's not how high can I grow this? It's how do I turn this into income without letting the tax situation in my 70s quietly take a cut I never planned for. Someone with a well-structured $700,000 portfolio can retire more comfortably than someone with a badly structured $1 million one. The number got you here. The structure determines what happens next. There's something specific coming up that I want Group A to stay for. It affects you as much as anyone. Keep watching. Group B, and this is where I want to spend the most time, because this is the group most people watching this actually land in, even if they haven't named it yet. You have somewhere between $350,000 and $700,000 saved. The balance feels okay-ish, not great, not panicking, and the vast majority of what you have is sitting in a traditional pre-tax 401k or IRA. You've heard of Roth accounts, you may have a small one, but you've never really moved much there. And your honest plan for Social Security is some version of when I retire, which usually means somewhere around 62. I want to be straight with you. That combination, mostly pre-tax accounts, Social Security claimed early, is the most common retirement structure in America. And it is also the structure that quietly puts the most people into the at-risk half. Not from bad investing, not from reckless spending, from 2 levers that most people leave in the wrong position their entire working life. Here's what that looks like in actual numbers. Before I show you the number, I want to say this directly. Most people hear the first 2 group descriptions, do a quick mental scan, decide they're probably Group A, and start half listening. The people who check out right here are almost always the ones who end up surprised at 75. Stay with me for the next 2 minutes. This is the one most people never see before they make the decision it's attached to. According to Social Security Administration data, the average person who claims Social Security at 62 receives $1,424 per month. The average person who waits until 70 receives $2,275 per month. That is $851 every single month for the rest of their life from the same system. The same work history. The only variable is the timing of one decision. Let that land for a second. $851 a month over a 20-year retirement is $204,240 in guaranteed lifetime income, not market dependent, not subject to a bad quarter, just gone because of when one lever got pulled, and most people make that call in the same week they hand in their notice, without ever running that number. This is the part nobody explains before it's already decided. This is exactly where that gap from the beginning comes from. Not catastrophic mistakes. The 2/3 who feel confident and the 4 in 10 who run short. The Social Security timing decision is one of the main things quietly separating them, right there in that $851. If that just shifted something in how you're thinking about this, hit like. It takes 1 second, and it helps this reach more people who need it. Here's the practical piece for Group B. You do not have to retire and claim Social Security at the same time. Those are two separate decisions. Most people treat them as one. They're not. You can stop working at 62 or 63. Use your savings to cover expenses for a few years. That's exactly what they're there for. Let Social Security keep growing at roughly 6 to 8% per year for every year you wait past 62. Then turn it on at 67 or 70, locking in a permanently higher monthly check for the rest of your life and your spouse's life, because the higher earner's benefit is what the surviving spouse inherits. That bridge, spending down some savings early in exchange for a permanently higher guaranteed income later, changes the math for a lot of people in this group, and it costs nothing to model before you decide. Now, the thing I promised Group A to stay for, and this matters equally for Group B. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. Most people think the hard part of retirement is getting the money. The part that surprises most people, the part almost no one sees coming, is what happens at 73. At age 73, the IRS requires you to start withdrawing money from traditional pre-tax retirement accounts, whether you need the income or not. It's called a required minimum distribution. On a $600,000 balance in a traditional 401k, that first forced withdrawal is roughly $22,600. Taxable income, automatic. Whether you needed it or not, that forced income doesn't stay quiet. It can push you into a higher tax bracket. It can trigger Medicare premium surcharges. It can make up to 85% of your Social Security benefit taxable, all at the same time compounding each other. None of this is in the standard retirement calculators most people use. The reason most people only find it by stumbling across it or watching a video like this is that nobody walked them through it before it was already happening. The window to do something about it is between now and 73. Roth conversions in your early 60s, moving some pre-tax money to Roth while you're in a lower bracket, reduce what the IRS gets to collect later. I'm not your advisor. I don't know your full picture, but the math works the same way regardless of whose numbers you run. Here's where it gets more honest, and I want you to stay with me for this part. Group C, under $300,000 saved. Maybe some debt still in the picture. First, you are not alone. eBreeze data shows that roughly half of American households have under $100,000 saved for retirement. If you're at $200,000 or $250,000, you are ahead of most of this country, even if that doesn't feel like nearly enough. And I'm going to tell you the honest version, because the false comfort version is what gets people hurt. A 7-figure balance before retirement is probably not the path you're on. Being clear about that is not defeat. It's the thing that lets you make the right moves with the time you actually have. The highest leverage thing you have right now is lever 3, Social Security timing. For most people in Group C, Social Security is not a supplement. It's the foundation. Every year, you delay claiming between 62 and 70 adds permanently to a check you'll receive for the rest of your life. Do not claim early to patch a savings shortfall. That is the most common and most expensive mistake in this group. Use part-time or bridge work if you need income in those early years. Keep the Social Security clock running, and 3 to 5 more working years, even at reduced hours, changes the math more than almost anything else. More going in. Fewer years the portfolio has to fund. Potentially better earning years replacing weaker ones in the Social Security calculation. 3 years is meaningful, 5 is often transformational. Let me bring this home for 3 different people who might be watching this right now. If you're in your 40s and this landed with that specific tightening, the "I should probably figure this out properly" feeling you keep putting off, you have the one thing that makes all 3 levers cheapest to fix: time. Use it for lever 2. The account type question, how much is sitting in pre-tax versus Roth, is easiest to rebalance when you're furthest from retirement. Start moving some contributions toward Roth now while your tax bracket allows it. That one shift, compounding over 20 years, changes what you owe at 73 more than almost anything else. If you're in your 50s and Group B felt like a quiet recognition, that's probably where I am. The one thing to do this week costs nothing. Go to ssa.gov, Create an account if you don't have one. Pull your projected benefit at 62, 67, and 70. Write down the monthly difference. Multiply it by 240. Hold that number in your hand. Then make the timing decision with your eyes open instead of on instinct. If you're closer to retirement and Group C was honest, not devastating, just honest, the single most valuable thing you can protect right now is that Social Security clock. Every year it keeps running. It's paying you for life. Don't trade a lifetime benefit for a short-term gap you could bridge another way. Most people carry all three levers without ever knowing they exist. Now you do. If this was useful, subscribe. The next video covers why a $600,000 retirement can quietly fail while a $400,000 one holds, and it picks up exactly where this one left off.